Welcome to No Label Live. I'm your host, Karesse Clemons. Raheem is out this week. I sit down today with Minister SLIMMM. That's with 3 M's, which stands for Serving the Lord in My Music Ministry. DJ Official is also on the 1s and 2s. How are you, sir?
I'm amazing.
DJ
Who tuned in with DJ?
What was about to slip there, DJ Official?
It was gonna be something nasty.
I had a feeling.
We gotta keep the rhythm going. We're gonna kick it off with something like this. From my man SLIMMM.
I'm glad that you decided to be clean today. Well, when we return, I will be interviewing him, and he'll be performing live. Stay tuned.
Been in and out of jail all my life. I got like 32 arrests. And every time I got out, the first thing I would do is go get a beer and go back to the block.
Welcome back from the crack house to the jailhouse and now to the church house. I sit down with Minister SLIMMM today. How are you, sir?
I'm doing excellent, praise the Lord.
Well, you look a little different than last time I saw you. And the shirt, explain to me what the shirt says here.
It says, humble is appearing as a lamb when there's a lion inside of you.
Now, by the lion, explain to the people what that actually means.
The Lion of Judah.
Exactly. Now, I understand that you have some new music that has been released lately. Tell me a little more about the Confirmation album, and then we'll backtrack and talk about the Transformation album.
Well, the Confirmation album is really confirming the first album, because when you first put out an album, my testimony speaks for itself of how I growed up, in the streets and gang banging and all the things I used to do. So the transformation is me coming out of that. And now people are like, well, okay, what you gonna do now and how you living now? Confirmation is, okay, I was coming out of that. This is what I'm doing now. This is what it is. This is the calling on my life, and I'm walking this out now.
Now, by coming out of what? What exactly did you come out of?
I came out of my shell of sin. I was covered in mud. You name it, I've done it. From anything from smoking crack to, like I said, gang banging, robbing, shooting dice. I did it all. All the stuff that those rappers glorify, they really be talking about my life while they living in those big old pretty houses. But I'm like a result of, from the other side, the ones that were selling the dope, they glorifying that, but you don't never hear from the side of the person who actually was affected by using the drugs, and that's why I stand here in the gap for that.
Now, what was the pivotal moment in your life? Because you were talking about smoking crack and all of this other stuff. What was the pivotal moment that made you say, you know what, I'm done. I'm not going to do this anymore?
Well, I actually been in and out of jail all my life. I got like 32 arrests. And every time I got out, the first thing I would do is go get a beer and go back to the block. And obviously, when you go back to the block, you know what they got to offer. We know what goes on in the neighborhoods with the drug selling and the alcohol and all the stuff that goes on. But when I got arrested the last time, I just was like, I cried out to God. I said, God, I can't keep doing this. I said, I'm tired of smoking crack. I'm tired of drinking. I'm tired of just not having money in my pocket. Just take this alcohol and drug taste out of me, away from me. And he came to me in a dream that I mentioned on Calling from the Man, one of the songs that's on my CD. So it was more of a, he showed me that if I stopped drinking, I could stop smoking crack, because that was my trigger to the crack. See, a lot of people say, well, I ain't gonna do this, but I'm gonna do that, but they don't realize that one leads to the other. And some people stronger minded than others, but my thing is you don't know how strong your mind is until you do something. So you never know, well, it ain't nothing wrong with drinking a little beer. It might not be to some people. It is to me, though. So I guess to answer your question, what was my breaking point? I just really just got tired of being sick and tired. You know, I'm 35 years old in jail. They calling me old school now, you know. So, I'm like, I can't keep doing this.
Now, you said that you're just tired. Now, 32, right? 32 arrests.
Yeah,
right?
at
So
least.
if it's 32 arrests, what was different between the first 31 arrests?
Right.
What was the feeling that was so different between the first 31?
I had an
to
encounter
where
with
the
God.
32nd came. Okay, the 32nd you had that encounter.
I had an encounter.
Tell me about that.
I was really in my cell, and I cried out to God, and I asked God to remove the alcohol and taste out my mouth. And we had been going to Bible studies. You know, they call it jail religion. You get out and you don't do nothing. But I was actually doing it in jail and had made my mind up that when I got out, I was done. And I guess I know, because I know the word, that he heard my heart. And when he heard my heart, he came to me in a dream. And in the dream, he really spoke to me and told me what he had for me. And I'm walking it out now. And it'll take up all the film to really go through all of it, but I will say this. When he came to me in a dream, he told me, he said, put all that behind you and follow me. And I was walking, it was a bridge being made as I'm walking. And it was fire down there. And it was a hand of glory that I was chasing. And I seen this tunnel coming around me like this. And what he was telling me is, I'm protecting you. Don't look right, don't look left, follow me. And hell was down there. That's where my footsteps was going, the way I was living. But when the bridge was being made, he was ordering my steps. And when I got to a certain point, I heard chatter in the background, and I got to a certain point, it was a fish in some plastic. And I opened up the fish, and I set the fish free, and I woke up. And when I woke up, I was different. I can't explain it. It was like an anointingness had rested on my body to where everything that I wrote, everything I said, it had more power to it. It was like a glow and anointing. And then when I got out, other people started seeing it. So then, one thing led to another. God started sending people, and I really, I never had urges to, I don't have cravings to drink. I drunk beer, alcohol, and everything all my life. I don't have an urge. It's not like I got to refrain from trying to drink. It's not like, man, I want to drink, but I just ain't going to do it. It's gone. You can see the beer right there to me. I see horns and a tail, because that's a demon for me. You know what I mean? And once you start, washing yourself with the word and cleaning yourself out with the word, because, Jesus is living water. So when you fill yourself up with that Jesus juice, like I like to call it, it gets all the other impurities out of you, and then you be led by him and led by his spirit. So that's what it was. I had an encounter, and then I got tired of, my wife, my kids, I'm neglecting them, in and out of jail, my baby seeing me through the window, the glass on the phone, and I'm watching her being raised from like that. So it got to a point to where I'm like, I can't keep doing this. And I got sick and tired. But I knew that it was a God growing up. I wasn't raised in the church, but I always knew, even when I was out there thugging, I was one of them thugs to where, it sounds kind of silly now that, I ain't going, when we go past a church, I ain't gonna turn my bill because we're going past a church. I had some kind of, understanding that God was powerful. I just hadn't received it yet. You understand what I'm saying?
Understood. When we come back, we will see a performance from SLIMMM in song. He's going to tell his testimony through his song, Calling from the Man. Stay tuned.
I got a calling from the man. He using me to help the world understand. We don't have to keep living like we lost. Just remember what he done on the cross.
Then the Lord spoke to me.
I got a call from the man. He using me to help the world understand that we don't have to keep living like we lost. Just remember what he done on the cross. I got a calling from the man. He using me to help the world understand we don't have to keep living like we lost. Just remember what he done on the cross. He paid the cost.
Unlimited potential, that's what you got. Wear out all your credentials. Fill up a slot, be positive and gotta give. That's the truth, negative is how the devils live. Get a clue, tired of sin, my brothers fail. We must prevail, stay away from crowded jail cells. It's living hell, collect calls, family mail. Smelly cells, moving only when a guard yells. Like Satan's spell, we eat slop, and it ain't a lot. Doors lock at 10 o'clock, get to your spot, hop on your cot. Matter of fact, it stays packed, and you know why, cause it's fact. Guidance we lack, look how we act, let's all unite. Put faith in Christ, do what is right, we know the fights, not black or white, but day and night. Until my brothers that's claiming colors, I know them struggles, God above us, showed he loved us, let's love each other.
I got a calling from the man.
From the man.
He using me to help the world understand.
Understand.
We don't gotta keep living like we lost.
Like we lost.
Just remember what he done on the cross.
At the cross.
I got a calling from the man. He using me to help the world understand.
Understand.
We don't gotta keep living like we lost. Just remember what he done on the cross. He paid the cost.
If you seek, you will find. Ask for help. Are you spiritually blind? Ask yourself, do you feel God's presence? Count blessings even through life lessons. And God's testings, if you do, you on the right track. Stay intact. If you don't, then reflect back. No time to slack. Look deep into the sin source. Get back on course. Listen for God's caring voice. And then rejoice. That's just the beginning. Continue sending prayers up. God's forgiving. Keep repenting, line your life up with Jesus. Paul teaches unity in Jesus. In Ephesians, go ahead and let your light show. I see your glow. Relax and let the spirit flow. Read what you sow. Praise God and watch your growth. He's great, I know. He's forever so faithful. My God's a pro.
I got a calling from the man.
From the man.
He using me to help the world understand.
Understand.
We don't gotta keep living like we lost.
Like we lost.
Just remember what he done on the cross. I got a calling from the man.
From the man.
Using me to help the world understand.
Understand.
We don't got to keep living like we lost. Just remember what he done on the cross. He paid the cost.
Long suffering and being kind. I couldn't find, reminiscing on my past times. When I was blind, couldn't see for them nightmares. Uptight stairs, didn't know God was right there. In Christ's care, too busy caught up in my own mess. The blown test, fellowshipping with death. All about myself, Satan was key, while sin and we actually had found a lot of chemistry. You hearing me? I'm so glad God delivered me. From the dark, he showed me a hopeful spark that changed my heart. He told me his gift was free, and that spark was the Holy One, the Father, the Almighty. He hit Satan with a strong right, hit him in the night and told me step into the daylight. Be Christ-like, he came to me in a dream. I changed teams when I was ready. He washed me clean. You see my gleam?
I got a calling from the man. He using me to help the world understand.
Understand.
We don't have to keep living like we lost.
Like we lost.
Just remember what he done on the cross.
At the cross.
I got a calling from the man.
From the man.
He using me to help the world understand.
Understand.
We don't have to keep living like we lost.
Like we lost.
Just remember what he done on the cross.
At the cross.
He paid the cost. Oh.
DJ Official.
Do you consider what your music to be a gift that was given to you?
It's definitely, it's scriptures in the Bible. God gave talents. He gave one, he gave 1 3 and 1 5. And the one he gave 1, he buried it.
And we're back. I'm sitting down now with Minister Slim. You just heard Calling from the Man. What a wonderful song and a wonderful testimony. Sir, tell me about your penitentiary experience.
Okay, well, living that long life of crime, of course, you don't always get away. Eventually, you get caught, no matter what you're doing, unless you just stop or get blessed and God see favor in you not to go that route. But through all the troubled times that I lived, growing up without a father and all those things like that, I joined gangs and stuff like that. So eventually, when I moved down south, I carried on with gang activity and street life. So finally, it caught up with me. Carjacking and just a lot of different charges. And when I went to jail, I met this guy, and he sat me down and he told me, he said, "What you gonna do when you get out?" I said, "Man, I'm gonna get out and get me a job." He said, "Well, how you gonna get a job when you're a felon?" He said, "It's gonna be harder for you to get a job." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "But man, I'll make it work." He said, "Nah, you really need to think about that." He said, "Because when you get out, your job history gonna be so far away or whatever, what you like to do." I said, "Man, I have cut a little hair, here and there, whatever." He said, "Why don't you get your barber license?" I said, "Get my barber license." Now, that ain't what they're gonna tell you. I ain't gonna tell nobody to go to prison to get their barber license. But if you go to prison, it's things in there that you can do to better yourself, because time will catch up with you or leave you behind, so to speak. So my thing is, I got my barber license when I was in there. And when I got out, I worked in the shop for a little while, and eventually, God blessed me with my own. So, but while I was in prison, you meet a lot of people that's, like, if you see the news, you see a lot of things that's on the news that people doing, and you in there with those people. So now you in there like, okay, now this is really real. This ain't just news I'm watching on TV. You have to live with them. You hear things at night, men with men. You hear, fights, stabbings, sticksings, and all kind of things. And then by me before I retired as a gang member, I was in there active. So, if one gang get into it with another, you got to ride with them and all that. So it was kind of like a slavery, really. So when I found Jesus, I became free of all of that.
So do they, since you retired from gang life, do they consider you an OG, or just somebody that just doesn't?
Well, I was called an OG before I retired, to be honest with you, but I don't like to go off them type of labels no more, because one thing I don't want to do is make it look like I'm glorifying any of that or picking back up, the flag per se. But according to the rules and the laws that's governed by, the structure that I was in, at a certain age, you're eligible for retirement anyway. So I kind of used that as a way to step back, and now God used me to talk to those same guys that I used to run around the clubs with and tote pistols with and all that, to witness to them and share them, because they know I understand.
So those guys who gangbang, still, what do they say to you when you come out and say, "Hey, get saved"?
You get both. You get some that's like, "Man, is he serious?" And they watching you. They got you under the microscope. Then you got some that like, "Man, whatever, man, it's death before dishonor." They got all these different little things they're saying. So I tell them I died in Christ. I died in Christ. Okay, death before dishonor, I died in Christ. But at the end of the day, it's just like anybody else. Like when you're talking to somebody, you're gonna reach some and some you ain't gonna reach. But I haven't had no like threats or nothing like that. "Oh man, because like I said, I joined when I was 11. I retired when I was 35. So it's like, okay, what you want me to do? Now the neighborhoods are so corrupted with gang-infested violence, they need guys like me that's willing to stand up and say, let's do something different, without bashing them. Because I will say this, I respect the brotherhood in the gangs. I got a problem with the hatred and the negativity that come with it. Like in our neighborhoods, as black people, we sit around and we claim blocks, we claim gangs, we claim this and that. But if we came together and unify this thing for real and move forward in something positive, we can be a powerful nation once again. But the thing we do is the gangs cause division. And when God showed me that and how we could bring it all together unified, the only way we can do that is to get away from the colors, get away from the blocks, get away from the streets, and have a common cornerstone, which is Christ Jesus. Because he don't care if you're an alcoholic right now, if you're a Crip, Blood, Vice Lord, or whatever. He don't care. He wants you exactly how you are. But once you accept him, it's not, well, man, you did so you can't do that no more. No, once you accept Christ, you ain't going to want to do it no more.
Now, do you consider what your music to be a gift that was given to you?
It's definitely, it's scriptures in the Bible. God gave talents. He gave 1 he gave 1 3 and 1 5. And the one he gave 1, he buried it. The one he gave 2 or 3, he gave 3 and 5, they actually did something with it and God blessed them for it. So I believe that God gives everybody gifts and ability like you. You doing what you're doing here, that's a gift and ability that God gave you, and you're using it for his glory. That's why you're going to be blessed in it. I was a rapper back then, but I was rapping about all the stuff that other rappers rap about until I changed my mind and changed my heart, because I rap from my heart. So if I rap from my heart had to change first before I can rap about God. So once he came and rested in my heart, I started rapping for him. But I'm from where they from. And what is it? I think it's 1 Corinthians 9:22, I think, where Paul was talking about he became all things to profess Christ Jesus to the people. So it's like, I know in order for me to go over there and talk to the gangbangers or talk to the crackheads, I can't come over there and just trying to whoop them with scriptures. I can't come over there and say, man, you going to hell if you this and that. No, you got to love on them. You know, I go over there and I talk to them. I say, man, I understand that. You know, I understand how you feel, bro. I've been there. But as long as you keep doing that, this is the result you're going to get. But when I tried this, it worked for me. Let me invite you to this. Not come to my church, not walk like SLIMMM walk, dress like SLIMMM walk, or be what you call it, a fan or something. No, I'm gonna introduce you to a personal relationship with God yourself. That way he gonna do whatever gift that he put in you, he gonna be able to use it for his glory. And that's all God wants us all to do. So I don't know if that answered your question or not, but
It did. When we return, we're gonna hear Hood Tested.
Hood
Yours
Tested.
truly. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Jesus approved, check our background. We was buck wild, we spread the good news. Hood tested, Jesus approved,
Check our background.
we was buck wild.
Tested.
Jesus approved, check our background. We was buck wild, we spread the good news. Hood tested, Jesus approved, check our background. We was buck wild, we spread the good news. Hood tested, Jesus approved,
Check our background. We was buck wild. We
spread the good news. Hood tested, Jesus approved, check our background. We was buck wild, we spread the good news.
Thug life, I seen it twice. Hood fights and dark nights. Negative advice, shooting dice. Being enticed by drug heists. Poor heights and pay the price. Duck and dodge the street vice. Chase cheese like mice before I learned to chase Christ. Mama tried, granny cried. Attacked by pride when the homies died. Hurt inside, Satan lied. Said intoxicants help revive. Destroy my drive, help strive. Now I collab on Jesus' side. He provides and I let him guide. He opened my eyes so I survive. I never forget and I won't quit. Since I'm one that God picked, 156 off street mix. Leading folks to their heat spin. This is G.O.D. did it. It's on fire because he did it. Full of joy from his spirit. He made my armor slim fitted with different clovers. He wanna show us anointing closers, shaking motors. I stand over, God Jehovah. I thought I told you I'm focused. The life holder, man spoke to a blood soaker that gives hope for life rucker, stubborn employer. I'm a sober kingdom soldier.
Hood tested, Jesus approved, check our background. We was buck wild, we spread the good news. Hood tested, Jesus approved, check our background. We was buck wild, we spread the good news. Hood tested, Jesus approved, check our background. We was buck wild, we spread the good news. Hood tested, Jesus approved,
Check our background.
we was buck wild.
We spread the good news.
I pray night and day and night, for the Lord to be my God. Matthew 5:16, let me know that I should always shine my light. But to whom much is given, much is definitely required. Tired of living double standards, choosing free but right. They said she never been tested. What message? Lessons by default. Mama praying, daddy singing, but my soul was still lost. They say church girls are the worst girls, and I'm living proof. Was a point trying to sell your soul, thinking the whole world denouncing all truth. Been down bad cars, I slept in them. I dealt with them. Drugs had my running, baby mama title. Fell in it, change has occurred that I'm not ashamed to show. I'm daily living by his word, and I'm here to let you know. Crazy praise, give it to him. That testimony about your system. Do your dance, lift those hands. You can't do nothing without. He's done so much for me. I just can't tell it all. He's there to pick me up like every single time I fall. Hood, tested, Jesus approved. Check our background. We was buck wild. We spread the good news. Hood, tested, Jesus approved. Check our background. We was buck wild. We spread the good news. Hood, tested, Jesus approved. Check our background. We was buck wild. We spread the good news. Hood, tested, Jesus approved. Check our background. We was buck wild. Now spread the good news.
Our real estate was Section 8. Had more heartaches than most to take. Driving on life's interstate. No speed limits or no brakes. Father lives made it harder with. Mama provided the starter kit. Told me how deep hot water gets. It was tough to stay out of it. My Chi-Town hood was cheap. Moved to Shelbyville, Tennessee. I met hood thugs, new drug clubs, thinking man they just like me. We from GMOB, Gary, Tate, M&PC. We broke rules, blessed the rules. Southern hospitality, product of my environment. Consolidated confinement, announced my street retirement. Accepted my assignment. Now I aim to be a light. Through Christ my future's bright. Soaring in heavenly heights. Sinless? Nah, not quite. But I'm part of God's plan. And now I take this stand. He said follow me, wholeheartedly. Got a calling from the man. Live a long hard life of crime. At one time I was blind. Jesus is my spine. No line, I'm fine. I'm
hood, tested, Jesus approved. Check our background. We was buck wild. We spread the good news. Hood, tested, Jesus approved. Check our background. We was buck wild. We spread the good news. Hood, tested, Jesus approved. Check our background. We was buck wild. We spread the good news. Hood, tested, Jesus approved. Check our background. We was buck wild. We spread the good news.
Well, you just heard Hood Tested by the one and only Minister SLIMMM. That's with 3 M's. Warren, DJ, I'm sorry, Warren. I'm sorry, DJ Official. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. You all right?
I'm good.
How did you enjoy the show?
The show was amazing. We got to do this more.
I got to bring you back. I see you've got your Cashville, etc. Hat on from a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
You look fresh over there.
Look, let me step
DJ
up.
Official.
Let me step up.
Have you noticed I called everybody by their government?
Yeah.
That's my fault. I'm so sorry.
It's fine. It's Warren with 1 R.
What'd you say?
It's Warren with 1 R.
Seriously. Everybody, look him up on Facebook, Warren with 1 R, and hopefully we find him. Give me something to play us out, a little something.
You want something?
Don't bore me now.
Don't bore you?
Don't bore me.
Hold on. I'm not going to bore you.
This is how we do it.
Now, I can deal with that. Well, that's all the time we have. Persistence, motivation, and a little help from God. We can all be successful. Good night. See you next week. Raheem will be back. What'd you cut the music for, Warren?
My laptop died.